I just lost $30,000 on this flip, and I couldn't be more happier. This is the last time I'm gonna be in this house, and I'm ready to go. Here it is. We're leaving it all nice, cleaned up, ready for the new homeowner. I basically bought him a house at this point. These drawers shut for him. Well, head on out. Well, got to do the key thing. But on that note, in this video, I'm going to break down every single reason why this flip failed. Was it on me? Of course. Can I blame it on a lot of other things? Of course. But we're going to break this down in about 4 or 5 different areas on exactly how I lost my money, basically how much I lost. Will I do a flip again? So stick around to the end of the video to find out all the information. First, let's start out. I bought the house last April. So it was a 2-bedroom, 1 bath with a Jack and Jill bath, kind of a weird layout. So I thought, well, let's do something unique to the area. First mistake. So I made it a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Now this cost me about $15,000 just to add these 2 bathrooms. So I thought that I would get that value back. But let's backtrack a little bit. How much did we think the house was going to sell for? So we'll break it down in the sense that I bought it for 105, overpaid, first mistake. Rehab of 55. So all in, I'm about $160,000 in. So I thought that selling it for $215 would be probably my target, which in about a 4 to 5 month span, get it sold, I would probably make about $25,000. Well, first we went a year. So I held it for a year. So this is where we come into my first major cost. And this is a cost that a lot of new flippers will probably be told and maybe think about, but holding cost. So what are the things included in holding costs? 1, your interest payment from your loan. So I got a hard money loan at 12% for $160,000. That's the purchase price plus the repair costs. I actually put $10,000 down, so I was $155 or so in. So between the interest payments, the utilities, I had to pay extra for security, insurance. My holding cost numbers per month was about $2,000. So you think about it, I own the house for a year, so that's 2,000 times 12, that's $24,000 just right there on what I paid to hold the house. So then, after paying all that, then you got to pay points. And points are a percentage, usually 1 to 2 to 3 points of your total mortgage. So because I went over a year, I had to pay an additional 3 points plus the point, I think a point and a half, 2 points that they charge. So that came out to about another $5,000. So that puts us at $31,000 in the negative right now. So to move quickly, about another, I probably went about another $15,000 over budget on the price. So that puts us at like $45,000. I end up getting some of that back because 2 of the major things that happened was as soon as 98% of the rehab was done, I get a call from the neighbor that had my number from the sign that I had out in the yard. Hey, your contractors or somebody is stealing or taking everything out of your house. So I asked, did you call the cops? No. So you just watched whatever. Then he said, should I call the cops? I said, yeah, probably. So anyways, that caused about $10,000 in damage. I did get reimbursed from the insurance company. That's one of the things that caused the delay of about a month and a half of, holding costs, because they didn't reimburse me for lost time. So we got all that stuff put back, time, everything. So I get about, $8,000 of that rehab back. So we're still about $30,000, $35,000 negative on that. So then I thought that we was pretty close to getting it sold. We had it on the market, so I went ahead and in vacant houses, I don't like to put the air conditioning too early, but it started to get warm around, you know, the beginning of June. We put that in there. About a month later, that gets stolen, so that cost me another $2,400. So we're about $35,000 in debt. So setting on the market, we tried several different things. One of the mistakes that I think I made is I tried too many things, focused on trying to improve the property by putting more money into it, when really a price decrease is really what was called for. Because at the end of the day, no matter what I did to the property, nothing moved until I guess I priced it appropriate. So we got a pre-appraisal that said 226. My realtor thought we could do somewhere between 210 and 225. I thought we'd be about 210, just because I saw some in the 190s, 200s that we did better than, that we was better than. But holding as long as we did because of the robberies or whatever the reason, the market has shifted a little bit, not a whole lot, but it shifted a little bit. So we lost value in that in time. And then, like, once we got to a price range that people started to like, they started to find things to complain about. And there was some cosmetic foundation issues that we could have got fixed, but we had a structural engineer come out and say, hey, everything's good. It just looks, you know, we had some braces. I wish I would have focused more money on that instead of some of the other things. But either way, once we got to a certain price point that didn't really matter no more, we finally got an offer from our original ARV of $225,000. The house sold last week for $178,000. So that's $50,000 less than I thought. More time and everything adding up. After I paid my loan back of $165,000, that left me $10,000 back, or $11,000 back basically. But here's the best part: you got to pay your realtor fees and all your closing costs. And all in all, it cost me to bring another $1,700 to the closing table. So even after getting beat in the head for all of everything, I got charged another $1,700. I did get an email the next day from the hard money lender that I overpaid $600. So there's my victory. I put $600 in my pocket. The house is closed. The nightmare is over. So I bring you back all the way around. Would I do a flip again? I most definitely would do a flip again. This was a $35,000 lesson that I learned. Will I recover from it? Absolutely. Is it one of the things I will reflect on? I do buy and hold, so I usually buy properties, fix them up, and then keep them and rent them out. I wish I would have stuck to that with this property. I think that would have been a great property to do it with. I didn't, so I need to stay on track with what I know. And now I believe I know flips. So will we do another one? Like I said, absolutely. That's not the plan for the future, but if the right property came along, we'll definitely take another flip on. Right now, we're working on another project that's going really well. So far, we're under budget. Cross my fingers, but we did just have a tree fall on our garage, so that's always fun. But it didn't damage the garage, luckily. And of course, insurance wasn't going to cover it, because why would insurance cover something like a tree falling on your garage? Because I didn't have that in my coverage, because I declined it, which I don't think I did. But what I might have did is chose unknowledgeably chosen a lower interest for payment wise, whatever. Usually adding a detached garage on, it's like something like under $10 a month, so I should have probably did that, but it didn't cause no damage. So it's just the price of removing the tree. So that sucks, but we'll move on to the next project. I hope you guys got some value from this video. If you did, go ahead and watch a couple other of my videos about buy and hold, the Burr method, my other flips, and some of the other projects I'm working on. So thank you for watching.